Help support AMTV by becoming a patron, an AMTV staff member, and following us over on Twitter. Hi there guys, it's Adam Martin here, and welcome back to a rather special instalment of the Now Review. Now, as we've mentioned before with the Now Yearbook series, they like to milk it for all it's worth. You know, you have the releases, the normal ones of each year, then you have the extra, you have vinyl editions. Well, this is probably the milkiest release of them all. We had the final chapter recently, but now get ready for Now Yearbook 1980 to 84 vinyl extra. That's right, exclusively on vinyl. As you can see, this is a 5 LP collector's edition box set containing basically 5 albums in themselves, comprised from the years 1980 to 1984. Now, I must admit, when they announced this exclusively on vinyl, I was a bit shocked. You know, I know they're limited edition. There's always going to be people who are gonna grab these. I believe this is only limited to, let's face it, probably 1,000. I'd be very surprised if it was any more than that. But this seemed like to be, was this a step too far? Well, we're going to find out. And before you ask, you know, we're going to take a look at the track list and all that. But full disclosure, all the tracks on here have previously been available on either a regular yearbook or a yearbook extra release. There's nothing necessarily new here, which I know immediately might hamper some of you from getting this. But before we delve into that, let's take a look at the package as a whole. As mentioned, this is a 5LP box set. It comes in this rather sturdy case, as you can see here. Very similar to the Now Presents series. So we had Now Presents the 70s last year and Now Presents Electronic earlier this year. They very much went for that same vein. Inside are housed five different sleeves, all adorned with the different yearbook artwork, and they contain the same artwork as from Now Yearbooks 1980 to 84 extra, so you know, all with their corresponding colours and the extra tag on the side there. So it is all housed in a very nice, robust package. But before I open this up, let's have a look at the back. So as you can see on the back, it gives you the full track list for everything that's on here on all 5 discs. And as I mentioned, now list this as there's, I think, 75 songs in total. So all of these tracks have appeared on a regular yearbook or yearbook extra. However, all of these tracks have not appeared on a vinyl edition, which would have only been the regular yearbook. So all of these, for the Now series at least, are new to vinyl. So I guess that maybe is an incentive for some people. I'm not sure how strong of an incentive it'll be necessarily, but hey, that's what you got. So first up, we have Now Yearbook 1980 Extra, presented here as a vinyl edition. All of these are, of course, 1 LP as opposed to the 3 LPs that the normal yearbooks get, but considering they're extra releases, I think that kind of makes sense. So on the 1980 edition, you can see you've got the white background there that the original has, and on the back, what have we got? On side A, you have Call Me by Blondie, good tune there, My Girl by Madness, Army Dreams by Kate Bush, Oh Yeah by Roxy Music, Private Life by Grace Jones, Christine by Suey and the Banshees, Breaking the Law by Judas Priest, and Ace of Spades by Moted. Quite a good mix of tracks there for the first side. On side B, you have On the Radio by Donna Summer, I'm Coming Out by Diana Ross, Searching by Change, Never Knew Love Like This Before by Stephanie Mills, If You're Looking for a Way Out by Odyssey, Everybody's Gotta Learn Sometime by The Corgis, Take That Look Off Your Face, Tell Me on a Sunday by Andrew Lloyd Webber and Marty Webb, and Stop the Cavalry by Jonah Louie. Nice to get a bit of Christmas action in there, but that is what makes up Now Yearbook 1980 Extra on vinyl. So that's 17 tracks on 1 LP. Not bad, you know, 17 tracks on one disc. That's not too bad. So that is the 1980 side of it. So when you take these out and look at the sleeves, by the way, you'll notice that they actually have a lot of track information about them, which I always love to see. You know, it harkens back to what Now always used to do, but they don't really do anymore. So as you can see on each LP, as you scroll down, there's various facts about how, you know, how high did these chart, when was their peak, a bit about the artist that's making them. So if you've got an eye for detail, this will keep you reading for quite a while. I know some people say they prefer lyric sheets when it comes to vinyl, but I'm just glad there's something there and it's not necessarily just a track list on the sleeve itself. Moving on to the second LP, which is of course 1981 Extra, you've got that lovely vibrant red cover there with the extra tagline on the side. So the track list for this, we kick off with Ant Music by Adam and the Ants, I Want to Be Free by Toya, Checkered Love by Kim Wilde, Open Your Heart by the Human League, Mind of a Toy by Visage, I Could Be Happy, the 12-inch version specifically, by Altered Images, The Lunatics by Funboy 3, and Green Door by Shakin' Stevens. Not the most enticing track list for me personally, but I'm sure some of you will be all over this. So that again is 8 tracks on side A. Side B has Invisible Sun by The Police, Message of Love by Pretenders, Reward by The Teardrop Explodes, Joan of Arc by Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark, She's Got Claws by Gary Newman, Southern Freeze by Freeze, Star by Kiki D, and Wired for Sound by Cliff Richards. That's another 8 tracks there, so 16 tracks on the 1981 release there. And again, this selection isn't really enticing me much, but again, it's each to their own, isn't it? 1981 isn't my particular favourite era of 80s pop, so, you know, doesn't grab me insanely. LP3 takes us to 1982, and there we go with that, again, very vibrant yellow that the original had there. So what's on this vinyl? Well, on side A you have Hungry Like the Wolf by Duran Duran, one of their most well-known songs, Fantastic Day by Haircut 100, Friend or Foe by Adamant, Torch by Soft Cell, Wishing by A Flock of Seagulls, Night Porter, the remix by Japan, and All of My Heart by ABC. So only 7 tracks there on side A. Moving on to side B, we have Should I Stay or Should I Go by The Clash, Beat Surrender by The Jam, The Land of Make Believe, Bucks Fizz, that was a number 1 for them, Fantasy Island by the ABBA Light Tight Fit, Videotech by Dollar, Just an Illusion by Imagination, There It Is by Shalimar, and I Can't Go For That No Can Do by Daryl Hall and John Oates. That's 8 tracks on side B. So Now Yearbook 82 Vinyl Extra has 15 tracks total going for it. You know, more enticing track list for me personally. I've always been adamant that I prefer like the middle to late of 80s pop. The beginning of it's alright, but it's not as much my thing. LP4 then takes us to Now Yearbook 83 Vinyl Extra with that black background, which I've always not necessarily liked as much as time's gone on, but it is what it is. So we kick off with Wham Rap, Enjoy What You Do by Wham, of course, Gold by Spandau Ballet, big tune there, Cruel Summer by Bananarama, Tell Her About It by Billy Joel, Wherever I Lay My Hat, That's My Home by Paul Young, one of his best songs, Bad Day by Carmel, and Victims by Culture Club. So that's 7 tracks there once again. On side B, you have Say 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 by Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson, Give It Up by Casey and the Sunshine Band, The Walk by The Cure, Change by Tears for Fears, Come Live With Me by Heaven 17, I Guess That's Why They Call It The Blues by Elton John, and Big Log by Robert Plant. Awful title, brilliant song. So that is another 7 tracks there. So 14 tracks on Now Yearbook 83 Vinyl Extra. We seem to be dropping a track each time, don't we? This is probably my favourite of the ones so far. We've still got the last one to look at, but a lot more songs I'd be interested in spinning on the turntable here. And of course, LP5 here is focusing on 1984 with that lovely blue background. So let's see what we've got. We've got Radio Gaga by Queen, Doctor Doctor by Thompson Twins, I Won't Let the Sun Go Down on Me by Nick Kershaw, Like to Get to Know You Well by Howard Jones, Hand in Glove by Sandy Shaw, All Cried Out by Alison Moyet, and Private Dancer by Tina Turner. So yet again another 7 tracks there. Really stellar side actually, probably the best of the set so far. And on side B you have Stuck on You by Lionel Richie, Ain't Nobody by Rufus and Chaka Khan, Caribbean Queen by Billy Ocean, Whatever I Do Wherever I Go by Hazel Dean, Down on the Street by Shack Attack, The Power of Love by Frankie Goes to Hollywood, and Do They Know It's Christmas by Band-Aid. Gotta finish with that very Christmassy song, haven't we? So that's 14 tracks there. So yes, there you go. As mentioned, that takes our grand total to 75 tracks across a 5LP vinyl box set. 1984 is probably my favourite in terms of musical preference, just because, as I say, I prefer as the 80s trundles on. But now I want to show you each of the discs. So a tradition with the Now Yearbook vinyl releases is that they go for coloured discs just as, I guess, part of the novelty, which is really fun. And I'm glad to say the trend continues here. So just to show you, for Now Yearbook 80, the first one, it is a sort of silver, or at least, you know, it might appear different on the camera, but it's very much a silvery grey. Now Yearbook 81 is a very bright red. Now Yearbook 82 goes for a very cool yellow. Now Yearbook 83 is the outlier because it is red just as the original vinyl release of Now Yearbook 83 was, but considering it had that black background it just never felt right, although I guess if you just went for black you'd have that standard black vinyl colour. And Now Yearbook 84 goes for a very vibrant blue. So all looking good there. As I say, I'm glad to see that they've continued the trend of the coloured discs. I think some people were worried that maybe they would abandon them, but very much like the vinyl originals for the Yearbook series, they continued that on there. So we've had a look at this box set, what it contains, the songs it contains. So what are my thoughts on this track list? Well, again, I think the premise of, you know, let's include songs that have already been on the yearbooks but haven't been on vinyl is a bit hit or miss. For those who are really into their vinyl, who want those particular songs on one particular package, it definitely meets the requirement. But I know a lot of people who, once they've got the tracks, say, on CD, they're done. Do you know what I mean? They're pretty much one and done. And it feels like it goes against the philosophy of the extra series as a whole. You know, the yearbook extra series was made to include more hits from that respective year that couldn't be fit onto the original yearbook release. So why not get 75 more tracks, you know, to add on here? I'm surprised this wasn't part of the final chapter. Well, I guess they already did the final chapter where they said in that description, you know, we want more songs. But if you're doing an extra release of that, why not include 75 more songs? There's tons more songs they could have included there. Maybe because they've made it vinyl only, maybe that's why they thought maybe we have to recycle some stuff we've already done, but stuff that's not on vinyl. But I just think personally, and I could be wrong, but I'd be curious to know your thoughts, but I personally think more people would be interested in grabbing this set if the 75 tracks chosen weren't on any existing yearbook. That would make it more rare probably and hard to get your hands on, because there is no CD version of this. I feel I have to make that very clear. At the current time of recording, there is no CD version of this set. It is purely a vinyl only release. I mean, aesthetically it looks nice. I do like the front cover, you know, I love the front cover with its white background there, and it's still got the yearbook that's emblazoned in gold. It gives it that sense of, I don't know, like a bit more importance, a bit more prestige. Not sure about the reflective thing at the bottom of the cover there. I think that feels a bit tacky. But no, the cover I like as a whole. The presentation I like as a whole. But what about the price point? I'm sure many of you are going to get on to what the price point is. Well, from the places I've looked at, it does seem to vary. Now, originally when HMV listed this, which is where I tend to pre-order my Now sets like this, they were listing it for £107. Which is insane. They did drop this though, they corrected it, and HMV now I believe retails it for £99.99. So basically £100, which is a lot, absolutely. You know, you're talking £20 per LP in there, which you can argue is less value for money than the 3 LP Now Yearbook vinyls, but you know, each to their own. But HMV are listing it for £100. I'm not too sure about Amazon. The Now website has it listed. See, this is where they catch you out. It lists it as £94 bang on. So, you know, instinctively you think, oh, great, that's cheaper. However, directly underneath it, it says delivery from £6.95. So, with that included, that will already push it up over £100. So, I'd say if you want to get this, HMV might be your best bet in terms of reliability as well. However, there might be some independent music retail outlets that are getting this, though I don't know what they're pricing them for. So I'd say, basically, if you want this due to the limited edition nature of it and that it's vinyl only, get it as soon as possible if you know for certain you want it. If you want to do some research beforehand, I'd do it quick. But I think the key things to mention are, yes, the presentation's nice. This is all packaged really nice and stuff. However, all of the tracks, as mentioned, have been included in past yearbook releases. All of them will be on CD. They're all new to vinyl for the Now series, but they aren't exactly new tracks. So yeah, very mixed on this. I think I've said in the past, if Now want to do these vinyl-only box sets, I'm not against them doing it in principle. I actually think they're really cool. They look nice on a shelf, etc. But you've got to make that pure incentive to really drive it. And of course, the yearbook name sells. I have no problem that they'll get some interest there. But I think not including tracks new to the yearbook series was a bit of a misstep. But that's all for this installment of the Now Review. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please remember to leave a like on this video. It really helps us out. And let me know in the comments down below, are you going to be picking up this very special box set, or are you going to pass on it entirely? Subscribe to the channel if you're brand new as well. We'd love to have you aboard. I've been Adam Martin from AMTV. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Thank you to our patrons for helping to support the show, and a special thank you to Macra, Hooks Media, Ben Freeman, Ethan Carberry-Holt, Bruce Danton, The Broken Kitsumanoid, Tobias Krotz, Globe of Reviews, Trev Hughes, Kevin Aikman, Derek Chambers, Sean Knock, Bailey Green, and DSTV New Zealand, our AMTV staff members.